So we're going to take a look at the Chapter 3 review. So these first couple, we need to clear the fraction first to solve this. So if we put parentheses around the entire thing, we have our denominator of 2x, and we already have an x, so we don't need to write that again. So when we multiply it in to the 5 here, we're left with 5 plus 6 times the 2x equals negative 4, and then when we multiply that in there, x reduces down to 1, so we just have 4 times 2. So then we can solve this. We have 5 plus 12x equals negative 8, plus 5 plus 5, 12x equals negative 3. So we end up with, let's see, x equals negative 3/12. We can reduce that down to negative 1/4. Go back to this step. I want to add 5 to each side. Thought something was looking weird. Minus 5, minus 5. So we have 12x equals negative 13. So x is negative 13/12. Right, the next one we're going to take a look here. Looks like we're going to have to factor this one first. So I notice this denominator factors into x minus 2, x plus 2, difference of squares. So now let's see, we can clear the fractions. So on the outside, x minus 2 and x plus 2. Multiply that in, so we have 1 times x plus 2 equals 3, let's see, times x minus 2, and minus 6x. So if we distribute, let's see, we have x plus 2 equals 3x minus 6 minus 6x. So we have x plus 2 equals negative 3x minus 6. And then we need to solve this. Let's see, plus 3x plus 3x. 4x plus 2 equals negative 6. Minus 2 minus 2. 4x equals negative 8. So we have x equals negative 8 divided by 4, or negative 2. But when I look at this, I realize that if we were to take negative 2 and plug it back in here, we'd have a denominator of 0, so that doesn't work. So this one, we would say, has no solution. We don't have to factor anything, so we can just multiply by x plus 3 and x minus 2. So when we multiply that in, we'd have 1 times x minus 2 equals x minus 4 times x plus 3 plus 6 times x plus 3. So now we have to do some distributing. So x minus 2 equals, distribute here, we'd have x squared plus 3x minus 4x minus 12 plus 6x plus 18. So we can combine some like terms here. X minus 2 equals x squared. Let's see, we got 3x, so that'd be negative 1 plus 5, so plus 5x. And then let's see, what do we have for our number? We got negative 12 plus 8, so plus 6, a quadratic, so we got to set it equal to 0, so minus 6 plus 2, or minus x, I should say, plus 2. So we have 0 equals x squared plus 4x plus 8. So is there a number that multiplies to 8 and adds to 4? Not that I can think of, so we'd have to do the quadratic formula. X equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root 4 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times 1. So we have negative 4 plus or minus the square root. This is going to be a negative, so this is 16 minus 32, so negative 16 all over 2. So we have negative 4 plus or minus 4i over 2, each divisible by 2, so negative 2 plus or minus 2i. Didn't think I had any imaginary ones, so it looks like I might though. Interesting. It was way back up here. This was supposed to be x plus 4. So if we change that, it's going to be plus 4 plus 12. Oh, what a mess. I royally messed this one up. So let's see. Got x squared. What would we have there? 7 13x plus 30. So minus x and plus 2 minus x plus 2. X squared plus 12x plus 32. So, alright, so this one's factorable. This makes more sense. What multiplies to 32 and adds to 12? X plus 8, x plus 4. So we have two answers here. X equals negative 8 and x equals negative 4. Alright, let's see if we can get this next one done without too many mistakes here. Alright, division. So we have our box. We have x plus 1 on the outside. X to the 4th, so we have that on the inside, so this must be x to the 3rd, x to the 3rd. We need a total of 4x cubes on the inside, so this would be 3x cubed. So this would be plus 3x squared. So we got another 3x squared here. We need negative 2x squared, so this must be negative 5x squared. So negative 5x times 1, negative 5x. We need a total of 3x, so that has to be 8x. So plus 8, and we need a total of negative 4, so this has to be our remainder here of negative 12. So our answer, x cubed plus 3x squared minus 5x plus 8 with a remainder of negative 12. So this next one, if we are asked to divide this again, let's see. Here's our box. So we have x minus 3. Our first term, x to the 4th on the inside. So this would be x cubed, negative 3x cubed. But we don't want any x cubes on the inside, so this has to be positive 3x cubed, because total that's 0. So plus 3x squared. 3 times negative 3, negative 9x squared. So we need another one, so this would be negative 1x squared, or just negative 1x squared, because that would make negative 10. So we have negative 1x, negative 1x times 3 would be 3x. We don't want any x's on the inside, so this would be negative 3x. So negative 3 times negative 3 is 9, which is the number we want, so there's no remainder. So it's x cubed plus 3x squared minus 1x minus 3. The next one we're going to look at is decomposing into partial fractions. So again, the first thing we need to do is factor. So 9 minus 9 x divided by, let's see, that factors into x minus 3 and x plus 3. So partial fractions, we need our two fractions, a and b, but our denominators, we must have x minus 3 and x plus 3. So now, similar to other ones, clear the fractions, so x minus 3, x plus 3. So when we multiply it over here, so we're left with 9 minus 9x equals a times x plus 3 plus b times x minus 3. And this is where we have those cases. So our first case is when x equals negative 3. So when we put that in here, 9 minus 9 times 3. Well, 9 times, or negative 3. So negative 9 times negative 3 is 27. 27 plus 9 is 36. Negative 3 plus, so when we plug it in here, negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Plus b, negative 3 minus 3. Negative 6b. Oops. So that means b is negative 6. And then our other case, what makes a 0 in this parenthesis? When x equals positive 3. So 9 minus 9 times 3, so that would be negative 18 equals 6a. 3 minus 3 is 0, so in this case a equals negative 3. So then we have to make sure we plug it back into our correct. So a is above x minus 3, so negative 3 over x minus 3 equals our b, negative 6 over x plus 3. So the next one we're going to look at is similar, that decomposition. So we got to factor first. 3x squared negative 4x 1. So what multiplies to 3 and adds to negative 4? Negative 3 and negative 1. Negative 3x, negative 1x. So let's see this. So it would be 3x times x minus 1 minus 1. So this factors into negative 4x negative 4x divided by x minus 1 times 3x minus 1. So that would equal a over x minus 1 plus b over 3x minus 1. Clear the fractions, so x minus 1, 3x minus 1. So we have negative 4x equals a times 3x minus 1 plus b times x minus 1. So then our cases, our first case would be x equals 1/3. So negative 4 times 1/3 would be negative 4/3. The a parenthesis would be a 0, so negative 1/3 minus 1, negative 2/3 b. So divide by negative 2/3, so b would have to be 2. Then our second case, x equals 1. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. 3 times 1 is 3, minus 1 is 2a. So that means a equals negative 2. So our final fraction, negative 2 over x minus 1 plus 2 over 3x minus 1.